I feel like now is a really good time to post a video on the most common mistakes that I notice and I've made myself as a psychiatry resident. We've all been there. Feel free to learn from my mistakes and my colleagues' mistakes. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Jackie. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I make videos about psychiatry training as well as provide commentary on how mental illness is portrayed in the media. If that's interesting to you, like and subscribe and join the team. The first mistake is not appreciating the team that you are joining when you are assigned to a service. They probably have been working together for many years prior to you joining the team, and not introducing yourself and getting to know how the team functions is a huge mistake. Especially if you know that you're only going to be there for a certain amount of weeks, you'd like to get to know them as quickly as possible, and vice versa, so that you could be a really effective and efficient team. By approaching this with a "how can I help" attitude, you will get very far in that rotation. Number two is thinking that you need to know all the answers. Now that everyone's calling you doctor this, doctor that, it might feel like a lot of pressure, and I talk about this a lot. It is okay, since you're just starting out, to still be unsure. The concern here is that you won't approach things with a questioning attitude and lean on your colleagues to help process and think things through. In psychiatry, that's extremely important, especially because we bring in our own biases, our negative countertransferences, everything that we might have been going through in our own lives to a case, and that could negatively impact the patient and your treatment for the patient. The other thing is that you're no longer competing for a psychiatry residency spot. When you look around in the room, everybody around you are now colleagues. You're part of the same team, whether or not you're treating the same patients. I appreciate how difficult it is to let that go. However, I wonder how more effective you could be when everyone is really invested in everyone's success. The third mistake is forgetting how temporary all of this is, specifically psychiatry training. Hopefully this serves as a reminder that you can only take one day at a time and do your best in that day, and remind yourself that this is supposed to be training, and so you should be learning, and your best might not look the same every single day. Maybe this will help you let go of things that you're possibly beating yourself up over. It's easier said than done, but looking back and reflecting on your patient interactions, your interactions with your own colleagues and team, the less judgmental you are about it, the more open you'll be to explore the possibilities of why you said a certain thing or why you had a certain tone when you said it. Number 4 is not asking for feedback early and often. Now that you're a resident, hopefully you get assigned med students that are rotating on the service with you, possibly people that are also interested in psychiatry. You're finally at that place where you can also give feedback constantly and receive feedback constantly. Unfortunately, because it's sometimes very difficult to receive feedback, we often avoid asking for feedback. Was there anything about my approach that might have gotten in the way of me building rapport with my patient? Is there any feedback that you could possibly give me about my decision making? Would this be the medication that you would suggest given this history? This is great modeling for your trainees that are following you around on service, so that they could see, oh, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, do you think that I could have done that differently? And lastly, number 5, efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. The world of medicine is now ruled by electronic medical records, and technology can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you are able to receive additional training on how to be more efficient in your workflow, I highly recommend that. If there is somebody on the team that you notice is able to get these orders in, write their notes efficiently, and still get what they need in that note without staying past dinner, way into the nighttime, then you should ask them what their secret is. It is a skill that I think goes to the wayside. It is common to overthink when you start training, so the last thing that you need is not knowing how to function the electronic medical records. An efficient workflow and allowing the EMR to work for you is going to allow your work to be more sustainable. It's a really, really big step towards self-care. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, join the team, and I appreciate any comments that you want to leave below, mistakes that you've noticed and maybe are working on. I'd love to hear those. So grateful for each and every one of you watching, and I'll see you at the next one.